Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about free movement regime that is coming to an end between India and Myanmar. So why it was going to come to an end and what is the reason why this was allowed between two countries, what is the purpose of it, when did it start and what are the relations between India and Myanmar, what are the challenges we are facing in the recent times. So all these things we are going to see and many more interesting things like which are the groupings that are having membership from India and Myanmar in common. So these are all the things we are going to discuss from this video, so stay tuned. In this particular video you can see Myanmar. Okay, so this is a border we have. Okay, so this is a Myanmar country and this is the border with India. Okay, so what happened here is, it is having boundary with 4 states of India. What are those 4? Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, also in Nagaland you have. These are the 4 states you have. Then what happened, why this issue is in news? Because recently, if you have seen, Union Home Minister announced that, Amit Shah has announced that this particular free border or free movement regime between India and Myanmar is going to come to an end. Okay, and we are completely going to fence the border. Okay, so then what is this border? Okay, how it used to be and now how it is a situation, and what is this free movement regime concept, why it is getting end now, and what is the current status, and what are the relations between India and Myanmar. These are going to be the points of discussion, and this forms part of India and bilateral relations in IR syllabus of GS paper 2 from mains perspective. Okay, so as this issue we have discussed, you have to remember that India and Myanmar shares a boundary of almost 1643 kilometers. Okay, so if you have remembered, India shares land boundary with how many states? Almost 7 states. Okay, so those are all SAARC countries and only one country which is not part of SAARC. Okay, but India shares a boundary is Myanmar. If you do remember, India belongs to South Asia and Myanmar belongs to South Asia. India is a member of SAARC and Myanmar is a member of Southeast Asian nations, that is ASEAN. Okay, so what are the boundary states? We have seen Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. Then if you have seen, why is this statement made by the Union Home Minister that we are going to completely fence the India-Myanmar boundary? Means if there is some problem only, then we are going to fence. What are the problems? Means we are having drug trafficking, secessionist movements. Secessionist movements means some people like Nagalim, okay, so peace deal was signed, and Assam Liberation Front, we have some secessionist movements happening in Northeast. They wanted to separate from mainland India and they wanted separate state. Okay, so these people are getting arms, money and the support. Okay, even China is also supporting through these countries only, because it is a porous border or open border, you can say, for some area, not entire 1600 kilometers, and it is also supporting this insurgents and terrorists in India. Okay, if you have remembered Uri movie, in that actual initial shot where the persons will be attacked and India, it will launch a retaliatory attack, all those things were in Myanmar border. If you have seen the introductory scene of that movie, so they will be crossing into Myanmar, Indian army, and they will target the base camps of these insurgents who are taking help or shelter in Myanmar, and then again they will come back to the Indian border. Okay, so narcotics smuggling, drugs. Okay, drugs are also entering into India from Myanmar. Apart from this, counterfeit currency is also one issue. Like this, India is facing some issues from the Myanmar porous borders or open border. That is why now we wanted to completely fence to stop these things. Okay, and mainly if you have seen with respect to Myanmar, one main challenge India is facing is Rohingya refugees. Okay, so Rohingyas, these are Muslim minorities coming from Buddhist dominated Myanmar. Okay, so they are facing persecution there and they were leaving to other countries like Bangladesh and India. Okay, so India, northeastern states, there is so much of this illegal migrant issue. Okay, that is why if you have seen Assam Accord and so many times, okay, those were the result of this illegal migrant influx from these states of even Bangladesh and Myanmar. Okay, so because of these reasons, now we wanted to completely fence the border so that people will not cross easily without any valid documents. So what is the border management steps we are taking? If you have seen, we are trying to secure this India-Myanmar border with respect to, and we are using Assam rifles there. Okay, when you are studying internal security point of view in GS3, okay, you have to know what are the border guarding forces. Okay, you have BSF, Border Security Force. This is the world's largest border guarding force which guards both Pakistan and Bangladesh border. Okay, Indo-Pakistan and Indo-Bangladesh border was guarded by BSF. Then you have ITBP. ITBP means Indo-Tibetan Border Police. It is guarding Indo-China border. Okay, so 3 segments are there: northern, middle, and eastern segment. Okay, so then you have Sasastra Seema Bal, which is guarding Nepal and Bhutan border. Okay, Nepal and Bhutan border. Assam Rifles you have, or Assam Rifles. Okay, this is the oldest regiment also since British time we have. This is guarding the Myanmar border. This is also considered as Friends of Northeast people. Okay, so in that way they are accumulated. And also you can see here modern weapons are also used for surveillance. Okay, radars and sensors also are getting used, okay, to have more vigilance over the border security, and smart fencing also we are using. Okay, electric fencing and all. So apart from these comprehensive border infrastructure projects, if you have remembered, Ministry of Defense is taking so many developmental projects on the borders, okay, so that we have good connectivity. Okay, in case of any situation warranted, then we can fastly move to the border to secure our country's borders. Integrated checkposts are also placed, and border area development program. Okay, border roads organization is there, so this is an organization responsible for laying of roads on the border areas, and this is under Ministry of Defense. Okay, so these are the things which you have to keep in mind. Then what is this free movement regime? Understand the words. Free movement regime means freely they can move. Okay, see, whenever you have to cross one country to another, you need some permission from another country where you are entering. That is called visa, right? Okay, so without visa, if you are entering a country, you will be considered illegal migrant. Okay, so but here free movement regime is a concept where you can travel or you can cross the border within some certain area only you can stay. Okay, so without any valid visa also. That means if India-Myanmar border is there till 16 kilometers, okay, the people from this side or this side, they can enter and they can cross either sides only within the 16 kilometers of demarcated free movement regime without any valid visa. What is the reason then? Why they have initiated such step is because we wanted good relations with India, Myanmar as part of Act East policy. And also second reason is, if you have remembered, like ancient name of Myanmar is Burma. Okay, so if you have remembered, this is also a British princely state. Okay, at that time India was also part of British India, right? Okay, so then what happened, this Myanmar was annexed into India, and Anglo-Burmese wars were also fought because the British wants to maximize their economic returns from Myanmar's lush green vegetation. Okay, so then in 1935 only it will be freed, because Indian National Congress also will be exerting lot of pressure because they don't want such colonization. Okay, so if you have remembered, Government of India Act 1935, which have created this Public Service Commissions, RBI, and at the same time this Burma separation also happens through this Government of India Act only. They got separation in 1935 from British India. So what happened when this was part, okay, when British India was there, so in 1826, okay, they have demarcated the boundary between India and Myanmar. But British, will they look into all the nitty-gritties and they will demarcate in a proper way? Even with respect to Radcliffe line also, which have demarcated India and Pakistan boundary, that person Radcliffe has never entered India, never visited India also, but that person was asked to demarcate the boundaries because British doesn't have any concern about the consequences of this improper demarcation. Okay, in the same way they have done with respect to India-Myanmar border. So because of this lack of any proper measures, what happened? So families got divided along the border. So we should not punish these families, right? So for these reasons, India and Myanmar together, okay, they have agreed and they have entered into this free movement regime. Means either side they can cross within 16 kilometers radius and without visa, because every time they cannot apply for visa, applying rejection, all these things are a troublesome issue for them. So that is why they have initiated. Okay, what is the objective? To promote local trade also, apart from this business and also. But unfortunately, this has aided in social problems like illegal migration, okay, drug trafficking, gun running, all these things are the unnecessary problems that came along with this free movement regime. Okay, so what is the current status? Myanmar's democratically elected government was now replaced with military junta. We call this military coup as junta, right? Okay, so after this junta, the situation became worse in Myanmar. So in 2021 itself, India suspended this free movement regime because it is resulting in large scale illegal migrant influx into the India, like Rohingyas I have told you. So many people from Myanmar, because they are facing persecution there, so they are coming into Mizoram and Manipur, which are the bordering areas to this Myanmar. So what is the present news about? As I have told you, Union Ministry is saying that we are going to completely fence border between India and Myanmar, and we are going to end this free movement regime soon. Okay, so it was in suspended motion. Now they wanted to completely end this, and they wanted to use advanced smart fencing system for entire boundary. So almost, okay, 30 to 40 kilometers in one area and another area, okay, almost like 100, less than 100 kilometers only is unfenced area is there, okay. All other area you have this Assam rifles along with the 1600, almost 14 to 1500 kilometer border was safeguarded by Assam rifles, but along this 100 kilometers boundary there is no fencing or no guarding by Assam rifles. Under this free movement, people are able to cross within each region, okay. So what is this rationale? Because they are used by, this route is being used because without visa also they can enter, right? So insurgent groups are using for their illegal activities, okay, and this is leading in large scale influx of migrants. So northeastern states, previously Manipur, also asked the union government to look into this issue and reconsider about free movement regime. So what are the challenges? States like Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram are opposing this move, okay, because they don't want a large scale immigrants into their country, into their state. Border security management is also, because this should be the center's domain, okay, and because see, they are opposing this move because they don't want their local trade to get hampered and all, but ultimately border issue is the domain of center. Okay, national security and integrity are very important, right? So the final decision will be taken by union government. So now a quick recap of India-Myanmar relations. You know, historically, because Myanmar or Burma is a Buddhist dominated country, so Buddha is a cultural aspect that connects two countries, okay. So and also, you know, during British era, okay, we are part of same empire till 1935, as I have explained you earlier. After independence, we have signed a treaty of friendship in 1951, and in 2014 when the present government came, okay, so previous look east policy which was launched in 1992 was replaced by act east policy, okay. So just not by looking, we have to act, okay. So then what is the importance of Myanmar? Why do we need Myanmar? Because it is located at a strategic location. If you have seen till here, it is South Asia, okay. So if you want to connect with Southeast Asia, okay, here you have all Asian countries, right? Myanmar is at the crucial juncture, so this is at the strategic location. And countering China, if you know, China is also developing one port project in Myanmar as part of string of pearls theory. So to counter China also, we need to have good relations with Myanmar. Internal security, like this insurgents getting shelter in Myanmar, or any illegal activities like drugs entering, because you know, golden crescent and golden triangle, these are the two terms which we come across when we are dealing with drugs, okay. Golden triangle is this Laos, Cambodia and Myanmar or Vietnam area, and you have golden crescent, Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan. So these countries are golden crescent, we call. From here and here it is entering into India. So we need to look into these issues. And illegal migrants also a security threat for us, and economic cooperation, okay. So it is important for trade purposes also, and culturally also, because there is a religion, Hindu and Buddhist connectivity also between two countries. What are the areas of cooperation? In 2001, we have a friendship road that is called Kalewa-Kalemyo Highway between India and Myanmar. And you know, Kaladhan multimodal project, this is very important, okay. This was launched between Kolkata to Sitwe in Myanmar, okay, because you know, to connect, okay, entire India to northeast, okay, because northeast India has to get improved connectivity and all. So we have launched this Kaladhan, and Kaladhan is a river in Myanmar, okay. So multimodal project means it involves road, shipways and waterways also. Through these, we are trying to better connectivity between two countries and develop northeast, okay. That is the main objective. And India-Myanmar trilateral highway, Thailand, IMT, okay, trilateral highway we call, okay. By road you can travel to Thailand also through this Myanmar. Then multilateral partnership, in which organizations both India and Myanmar are part, means both are part of BIMSTEC, ASEAN and you know, Mekong Ganga Cooperation also, 3 organizations, okay. Do remember Myanmar is not part of SARC, okay. It is not part of SARC. You have membership in BIMSTEC, okay. So if you have remembered, in BIMSTEC, you have 2 countries which are part of Southeast Asia, that is Thailand and Myanmar. These 2 part of Southeast Asia, and all other countries, okay, like who are all other countries form part of BIMSTEC? India, you have Bangladesh, you have Bhutan, Nepal and Sri Lanka. So these countries, okay, so 7 countries, right, in BIMSTEC. So these are all forming part of South Asia, and these 2 countries only are part of Southeast Asia. And you know, BIMSTEC is considered as a bridge between South Asia and Southeast Asia. As SARC has become dysfunctional, so we are now trying to focus or improve relations through BIMSTEC with India and neighboring countries. And you know, as Myanmar is also a member country, a neighboring country for India, so we are considering important as part of neighborhood first policy also, okay. So these are the main things, and it is also central to Act East policy, and also to connect with Asian countries. Myanmar is very important. Then what are the other things, areas of cooperation? Trade and economy. So we have some duty-free trade between 2 countries also. Developmental assistance. Whenever some crisis happens in Myanmar, we are giving even soft loans also in $1 billion. And there is a bilateral exercise, India-Myanmar bilateral exercise between 2 countries. Humanitarian aid. When 2011 there is a devastating earthquake that happened in Myanmar, at that time also India provided developmental assistance. What are the issues then? Okay, so the coup by junta, because there is no democratically elected government and there is a military that is controlling in Myanmar, and weak trade relations. After this, the trade relations also have weakened. And Rohingya issue, as I told you, illegal migrants coming and settling. Northeast insurgency. Northeast insurgency is mainly, okay, so it is getting its all the fuel required from these countries only. Internal security is also becoming a threat from insurgents and separatist people. Trust deficit, okay, because of increasing gap between 2 countries, okay. And Chinese factor also is one of the issue between relations of 2 countries, okay. So then how we have to settle this in a better way? Okay, handling Rohingya issue with care, okay. And cultural diplomacy should be promoted, you know, soft diplomacy you call. Better border management, okay, smart fencing and all, and bolstering the relationship through Act East policy. So taking these steps, we can have better relations between India and Myanmar. So now it's time for theme-based previous year question. So in the Mekong and Ganga cooperation, this is also a grouping as I told you, okay. Mekong is a river and Ganga is a river. So these 2 rivers, okay, in between which countries they flow, you have to answer. Okay, Bangladesh, Cambodia, Myanmar, Thailand, in China and Thailand, okay. So among these, which are all member countries, so answer is here 1 and 3, okay. That means only Bangladesh, okay, which are all not participant, means Bangladesh and China. So these 3 are members of Mekong Ganga cooperation along with India, because in India, you know, Ganga river flows, okay. So this was a previous year question asked by UPSC in prelims. Then a practice question with reference to Bay of Bengal initiative of BIMSTEC, okay, BIMSTEC, you can see it is a sub-regional organization that came into being from Bangkok Declaration, okay. If you do remember, this was established in 1997. Recently, in 2022 itself, it has celebrated 25 years of existence. That is why it is in news. Do remember these things. All Bay of Bengal littoral countries are part of BIMSTEC. So which statements are correct? Whether both are correct or either one is correct, answer in the comment section. Then mains question, Act East policy can be successful only if apprehensions of Asian nations are resolved. Discuss with relevant examples. This is important question for mains in IR section, okay. So now as we have come to the end of the video, what did we discuss in this video? We have discussed about what is free movement regime, why it is in news, why India is going to end this free movement regime with Myanmar, what are the issues we are facing, and what are the challenges, okay, we had between India and Myanmar, why it is important, okay, why Myanmar as a country is very much important for India in geopolitics. All these things we have discussed, okay. So stay tuned for further updates. Thank you.